a Tuesday. Sad day for Perloff. He's devastated, but we will get to that in just a little bit because our heads are still swimming here off of the Jimmy Garoppolo news from yesterday, Perloff. All of that in the offseason. Will they trade him? Won't he? Will he get cut? Will he not get cut? I think we rumored Jimmy Garoppolo to half the teams in the NFL. Yeah. And at the end of the day, he ends up staying in San Francisco as just this giant shadow that looms over the shoulder of Trey Lance. I don't see how this is good for the development of the young quarterback. Quite frankly, it doesn't seem all that awesome. Maybe, I guess, for Jimmy Garoppolo, it's fine. He knows the playbook, and he can come in as a conquering hero the moment that Trey Lance throws his first interception or something. But this has created a distraction and created drama in San Francisco where, quite frankly, there shouldn't have been any.
Maybe, but what are you going to do if you're San Francisco? Nobody's going to want a quarterback, maybe slightly above average quarterback with one functioning arm. Jimmy G's hurt. Nobody was going to take him. He would have no time to learn the new team, the new offense, get any chemistry. So a trade was out of the question. So if you're San Francisco, you're telling me you're John Lynch, Maggie? You're just going to cut Jimmy G for nothing?
I would have, and here's why. I've made a serious investment into Trey Lance because of the draft capital that I gave up to move to get him at number 3 overall. I have to show that all offseason, the entire organization, we're talking up Trey Lance. And you know what? I bet they're going to do it today because they canceled practice today. There is no media availability for any of the players, but reportedly Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are going to do a press conference. It might be happening as we speak. They were all on Trey Lance. And now I don't think I believe a lot of what they were saying because they obviously felt like there was enough of doubt, at least a seed or maybe more of that in Lance, that they wanted to keep Garoppolo around. If you really believe in your guy, if you really believe in him, you don't care where Garoppolo goes, even if it was to Seattle.
First of all, you saw Trey Lance play in the preseason. I don't care. They might really believe in his future, but that was wonky. So they need him in the building. The roster's too good. I'm a Trey Lance fan. There is no reason you're going to let that guy go. Your job is you don't have that many years in the NFL to play this out with Trey Lance. First of all, don't you think it's somewhat predictable they kept Jimmy G? Because when it comes, you know how coaches and general managers are a bit risk averse in this situation. There's no way they're going to let Jimmy G out of the building, let him win, and have Trey Lance struggle. Then what is everyone going to say? Why'd you let Jimmy G out of the building? For nothing. For absolutely zero reason.
Well, absolutely nothing, except potentially this could undercut, sabotage the guy who you're hoping is there for the next 10 or 15 years, right? Like, I know it's different now where people, draft quarterbacks and draft quarterbacks and draft quarterbacks until they hit on the right one. But not when you make the kind of assessment and calculation that the 49ers did to trade up. And all those rumors about whether or not it should have been Mac Jones or Trey Lance and there could have been a divide in the building, I believe a lot more of that now, especially after the fact that they decided to keep Jimmy G. Maybe not everybody is all in on Trey Lance. And you know what? It makes me think that if you looked across the NFL this upcoming season, I bet Trey Lance is the first quarterback that gets pulled.
Ooh.
We have a couple quarterback situations where there's, starters are really on, very precarious footing. And if you were to tell me that I look at the San Francisco schedule, this is not murderer's row here to start the season. This is where a good team like the 49ers, this is where you want to try to stack some wins, right? Because this is a veteran team that's got big expectations. The biggest question mark is the quarterback. So if I start my season, I'm at Chicago, home for Seattle, at Denver.
No, loss. Keep going.
Home for the Rams.
Kyle Shanahan owns McVay.
Okay, I put it as a loss, but we can agree to disagree. At Carolina. At Atlanta.
Definite win.
Versus Kansas City.
Well, okay, we're already into what week are we in?
So, and then at LA Rams before the bye, that's week 8. If Lance doesn't have a winning record in that beginning of the schedule, then he's certainly getting yanked. And I think it would actually happen before at Carolina, at Atlanta, back to back, because to make sure that you're coming home with W's against teams that you probably see as inferior.
Yeah, if you're trying to argue that Trey Lance is going to last longer into the season, wouldn't you want a lighter schedule to start? he's got every opportunity to win these games. All he has to do is not throw 3 picks, and he's going to beat half these teams.
No, this is why I'm saying that by keeping Garoppolo in the building, I think this means that Trey Lance is going to be the first quarterback who gets yanked.
I'm saying if
I'm
you're
not advocating for Lance. I'm just saying this is how it's going to go down.
No, I mean the fact that it's an easy schedule helps Lance last longer.
And if he cannot rise to the occasion,
right? But he has a much better chance of rising to the occasion with this schedule.
As
Chicago and
opposed to,
Seattle. If he was front loaded like some other teams are, it'd be really dicey.
Okay, so who do you think is the first quarterback who's going to get yanked?
So I am looking similar mentality, young quarterback. Actually, no, it's the opposite. Pittsburgh. I think that although Mike Tomlin's playing games, it's going to be Trubisky, right?
Who starts?
It'll probably be Trubisky.
I would think so.
Now, they are the opposite of the Niners. They have a tough schedule to start. They start with the Bengals, at Bengals, Cincinnati. I know Super Bowl losing jinx. Then they have the Patriots at home, at Cleveland, Jets. That's easy. Okay, good. 2-2, 3-1 maybe. At Buffalo, Tampa Bay, at Miami, at Philadelphia, into the bye. That could be 4 straight losses.
Ooh.
Which is an easy transition. And we know the trajectory of first-round picks. I know it all too well because I'm usually friends with the bridge quarterback who gets pulled for him.
Yes, you are Mr. Bridge quarterback.
This feels like week 9 bye. Week 10, you pull the bridge quarterback and go with the young guy.
Well, then I'm going to win this bet because the San Francisco 49ers have an earlier bye, and I do think that they're going to feel the urgency even earlier. And I'm not saying that Pittsburgh is not a playoff team, but San Francisco should be a no doubt playoff.
They're going to be 6-2. There's no way they're going to pull Lance. They're not going to. How are they going to lose these games? Explain the scenarios where Chicago and Seattle are going to beat them.
I know that's 2
then
of
Carolina
the games.
and Atlanta.
I know, but you're on the road for those, so you're cross country trips.
Carolina, Atlanta. Okay,
Atlanta, yes, but Carolina is a sneaky team for a lot of people out there, including you, who keeps telling me how much talent there is on their roster. And now you have Baker Mayfield, who looks pretty good. I know there's no backups behind him because everybody keeps getting hurt. But at this point, who cares? You're with Baker. He's now the face of the team, basically.
I feel good. I feel really good about the schedule and how it lays out for Trey Lance. The other thing is Jimmy G's. Do you know when he's going to be ready? It might be Nate Sudfeld. I don't even know that Jimmy G is going to be ready the first quarter of the season.
Yeah, but they can't pull Trey Lance for Nate Sudfeld. No, then you talk about killing the kid's confidence.
Well, I think that gives Trey Lance some extra time too because we really don't quite know what shape Jimmy G's in. We know he's not ready for week 1, I would assume. Ready.
See, that's the other thing here. It's obviously very hard to buy that everyone's just going to come together now when you've had Jimmy G in no meetings, no practices. Yep. He's been in the building, but away from the team. This is set up for maximum awkward. And I know, obviously, he knows the playbook and everything. I'm imagining it doesn't change too much from year to year. But still, getting the chemistry, getting back on the field, we have no idea what Jimmy's shoulder and the status of it because we haven't seen the guy.
Yeah, I'm just glad. I'm actually really glad. I think Trey Lance is going to take some time, and I think this schedule affords him some time, and this is going to help him last.
So you think Jimmy G does not see the field this year?
I think the way I expect it to pan out is that the Niners start 6-3. Then they're just running through with Trey Lance. Now, Trey Lance is a mobile quarterback. And, the Niners are a jinx team. We can acknowledge that. They get injured all the time.
Yeah.
So if Lance gets banged up, I think Jimmy G will get in because of a minor injury. And we'll see what happens. But I don't know. I don't know what to expect of Jimmy G health-wise. I think if he was healthy, he'd be on another team right now.
Well, he got surgery late.
Yeah, March.
He tried to rehab, and then he got surgery. It really kind of ends up sort of screwing the 49ers, quite frankly, because they couldn't trade him. I don't think there was anyone who was interested.
But I also think it's a happy day in 49er camp because they got him for $6.5 million. Mm-hmm. So they didn't know. They had no idea that he was going to go from 24 to 6. And I was actually surprised. I thought Jimmy G wanted to get paid more than that.
Well, I guess kind of smart from him. If he feels like if he and his agents get together and they're like, listen, Trey Lance doesn't look very good in the preseason, been really up and down, a team with a lot of expectations, be there, just be around. Then you can come in, you're the conquering hero, which Jimmy G has already done once in San Francisco after he got traded from the Patriots. They reeled off 5 straight wins once he was put in as the starter. And he was the man. And now he gets to potentially play hero for one last year, and then he becomes a free agent.
So
that's great for him.
When do you expect it to happen then?
I think before week 8. I think it could end. It could be before they go to Carolina. So we would have 4 games. 2 that we might be kind of, I want to say, quote unquote, easy, but at Chicago, home for Seattle, at Denver, home for the Rams. If they get destroyed against the Rams, I think before they go to Carolina and Atlanta, they're making the switch.
I'd be very, very surprised if they got destroyed by the Rams. First of all, talking about an injured quarterback.
Yeah, I know. Stafford and his shoulder.
I'd be extremely surprised if Kyle Shanahan was blown out by Sean McVay.
Yeah, they usually don't have blowouts. That's true. But
They usually whoop them.
But if Lance is the reason that they're not playing well, listen.
Jimmy D did nothing in 3/4 of their wins. You don't need anything out of that San Francisco quarterback spot. I just can't see this complete implosion. How many times is Trey Lance going to have to throw in a game?
Yeah, but it's not even about like whether or not he's throwing picks. There were times in the preseason where he's tripping over his running back. And I know we see that sometimes, but there were times when it looked like it wasn't even, no one was on the same page. The part of the quarterback's job is to get everyone organized.
Right, but we know the reality of young mobile quarterbacks. What happens?
They rely on their legs.
He's going to run like crazy, get all these extra first downs, and then the defense is going to be well rested and just unload on the opponent. It's a formula that's worked 100 times in the NFL. Jimmy G, yeah, he could be totally fine, but Trey Lance is so set up for success here, especially with this schedule. Justin Fields is there for week 1 quarterback in the Bears.
Thank you for watching our video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see more videos like this, just hit the bell.
Yeah, ring the bell.
Just hit the bell.